Shout out to Juan Gotti Talking Sports. You know what it is.
Shout out Juan Gotti Talking Sports.
The way that we live is not for everybody.
Nah, that ain't it, y'all.
How do you think the rest of Jayden Daniels' career is going to go? If we're, 6, 7 games into Jayden Daniels' career and he's already milking injuries? Like,
stop saying my name, you dick rhyme bastard.
What's good, y'all? It's your man Juan Gotti here. Welcome to the Command Extra Post Game Show. This is the show where we cover the Washington Commanders game after its conclusion, and then we get to your phone calls at some point in the show. So let's get to it. The Washington Commanders preseason Week 2 bout versus the Cincinnati Bengals was electrifying, at least the beginning. Your man Juan Gotti was live in attendance, and it was very, very fun seeing Jayden Daniels, Deebo Samuel out there at first. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about that, as there are a few negatives, but we'll get to it a little bit later. Jayden Daniels, man, this dude is just, he's so freaking good, right? And we already have known that, but like yesterday, he just has a different level to him. I mean, the difference between the rest of the game and when he first checked in, you should have heard the stadium. The man came into the game and it sounded like it was a regular season, postseason atmosphere, as everyone was just going crazy. And then on the drive that he initiated and we actually scored on, the second this man crossed the end zone, everyone lost their mind. I urge you guys to check out my vlog that's dropping later on today at 6 p.m. You're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. But to see him work, and this was what was interesting to me going into this game. You're down Terry McLaurin, you're down Deebo, you're down Noah Brown. You have Deebo Samuel, Jalen Lane, Luke McCaffrey, Chris Rodriguez as your 5 wide receivers out there. How was he going to work? And it was really 2 chunk plays that got us down to the red zone. It was a Deebo Samuel off the rip end around, and I was like, yeah, Deebo, because a lot of people, they tried to say he was fat, right? You know what I'm saying? And they immediately, and I mean immediately, didn't waste no time getting the ball in the hands of their new playmaker, and they did not waste no times proving that he is not out of shape. He's not fat. This dude is going to be electric this upcoming season. He took the end around down, made a DB miss, and it was just very, very good. Then you had Chris Rodriguez. Yes, not Bill, not Brian Robinson, not Austin Eckler, not Demetrius Felton. You had Chris Rodriguez out there with the ones, and he had a nice Curry that gained a lot of attention and yards. Now, I know a lot of people are going to hate and say, oh, it's the Bengals defense, anybody can do that. But at the same time, whether it's Brian Robinson that can do it or it's C-Rod, you love seeing him get it done, because if he didn't, you guys would be like, oh, Chris Rodriguez ain't nothing. And I know a lot of people we're excited to see that yesterday from Chris Rodriguez, because I know for countless years now, there were a lot of you all out there that felt like Chris Rodriguez was better than Brian Robinson. And today, I mean, you really can't deny that if that's the case. Brian Robinson on the trade block. He was not there in attendance yesterday. And Chris Rodriguez was out there with the ones ahead of Bill. And he looked apart. He looked really, really good. And after seeing C-Rod yesterday, that was the question that I had to ask myself when he came out with the first team and he had that nice run. I'm like, hold on, is C-Rod actually the guy that we need to be paying attention to more than Bill? And not to say that Bill isn't the new toy that everyone is excited about and he's not going to eventually be this running back one, but you know, I was quick to dismiss C-Rod due to the fact that I just felt like, you know, there's no way that you cut B-Rob but then keep 4 backs and one of them are C-Rod. But apparently it is going to be him if he makes this roster. And he definitely look good. And that's the thing. He always comes in his little cameos and has a nice showing. So there is talent there. It's all about his opportunity. And he took full advantage of it yesterday. Now, let's talk about the other running back that everyone is excited about. Everyone assumes that when Brian Robinson gets traded or when he gets released, whatever may have you, this was the person that it was for. And when I tell you, again, when he bent that corner and scored that touchdown, the stadium erupted. This dude is going to be nasty good for the Washington Commanders. And I know in this day and age we use nasty work in a bad term, but I mean nasty in a good term. Finally having a running back that has that stick your foot in the ground and go. You've seen that he put his foot in the ground and go and turned up field, bent that corner, and he raced to the pylon, and you couldn't catch him. It was sayonara, man. And that's what I said when I was on with Rio Robinson yesterday. Shout out to my guy Rio. He's like, what you want to see from Bill tonight in terms of production of career? I said, man, all I need is one big play. All I put him down after one big play, and that's exactly what happened. He got one big play. He didn't end up getting put out the game or set out the game as he ended up playing the second half, and that's something we'll get to a little bit later. But he looks the part, man. You can clearly see he brings the speed, the energy, the swagger to the position that's been lacking, and you see why they are comfortable with moving on from Brian Robinson. Again, for a lot of people that don't understand the move, it's not because Brian Robinson is bad or he's not a good back in this league. It's for multiple reasons. One, he probably just doesn't fit this scheme that we want to run, and he doesn't play special teams. Everybody else that's in that running back room that we assume our players are going to make the active roster can contribute to special teams in somewhat. B-Rob cannot. So that's kind of like the final straw in releasing or trading Brian Robinson. Now, talking about Bill, the reason why it was a little bit surprising to me, and I started to have to raise my eyebrows that maybe C-Rod is looked at higher, is because I don't know if you realize, but Bill was in the game into the second half. And a lot of it was him, and I didn't see much of Chris Rodriguez. And I don't know if that's because they want to hide C-Rod. I don't know if C-Rod got a little bit banged up. I don't know what the reason was, but we saw a ton of Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt in the second half. And obviously, when you don't have your starting or even second group O-line out there, your production is going to kind of decrease. And that's kind of how it felt for Bill as the game went on. But he continued to bulge forward and get 3, 5, 6 yards of carry. So it wasn't like he just completely went productionless. But obviously, early on, it was very exciting to see what he did. Now, let's talk about Jayden Lane, finally, another rookie that I was ecstatic and happy about. And he didn't do much of anything last week, but yesterday he turned up, ladies and gentlemen, catching everything. He did exactly what I needed to see from him. Because prior to this game, I'll be 100% honest with you, I was on board with Jayden Lane. But the thing was, I was starting to question, like, all this hype that was around him, can we at least see him do something? Because last week in Foxborough, he didn't get a return of punt because the defense couldn't get a stop. And Sam Hartman was selling him. So a lot of it wasn't his fault, but I didn't see much. Today, he showed me a lot, almost to the point where I feel comfortable enough for him to be a starter. I know that may sound crazy because it was just one game, but say you need Noah Brown to sit out, right? He's not right for week 1 or week 2. I would feel comfortable enough to have Jayden Lane being that Z receiver alongside Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel in the slot. I really do. He showed me a lot. And what impressed me the most about him, not his speed. It wasn't his speed. It was the fact that his hands are like glue. He caught everything that was thrown his way yesterday. So Jayden Lane really impressed me last night. And I'm super excited for what he can provide to this offense as a weapon in terms of a receiver. And as a punt return at some point, I promise you, at some point, we're going to see him break one, man. The punt return game and kick return game was very, very sad to watch yesterday. It was no excitement. And I find it very hard. How is Kaz Allen still around, man? He does nothing. I mean, we remember 2 years ago, training camp, he was the darling. He was the guy that everybody was talking about how good he was. He got his opportunity and he literally fumbled it away. Dropping the punts, not holding on to the ball, fumbling. And he's still somehow around and he's getting first crack opportunities as kick return. Get him the hell out of here. And while we're on the note of negativity, let's freaking talk about this backup quarterback issue that we have. We have a serious quarterback 3 issue. And I'm so blessed and I'm so thankful for Marcus Mariota because we have not had Marcus Mariota, we would be simply in trouble because Josh Johnson, absolute garbage. Sam Hartman, absolute trash. I mean, garbage. He is only here because he's Jayden Daniels' hype man. I'm sorry. And if you got to keep him around, keep him employed for that reason only, do that. But in terms of a quarterback, this dude does not have it at this level. I'm sorry. Immediately comes into the game, throws an interception. He kind of feels like he has to press, and he doesn't. You're not competing for a starting job. You're competing to make this roster as a quarterback 3. Go out there and play free. Go out there and ball. Have fun. And he just doesn't have it, man. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people love him because he's a likable dude. Long hair. A lot of the women like him. But this dude, he doesn't have what it takes. He made me lose my yesterday in a preseason game. And then you got Unc over here. Josh Johnson. Who the heck are you throwing to? In my vlog, I got that live in color. Who the hell was over there? You were throwing to nothing, which ultimately led to an interception. So we have a true problem at the quarterback 3 position. Are we going to keep 3 quarterbacks? Is there a world in which we just have Jayden Daniels and Marcus Mariota as our 2 quarterbacks? That's probably going to be the case if you plan on keeping an extra running back. If you plan on keeping an extra position elsewhere, you're probably going to have to cut fat at the quarterback position. And truth be told, you can do that. You can honestly do that. And same with receiver. This receiving core is not pleasing at all. Outside of Deebo, Terry McLaurin, Noah Brown, and Jalen Lane, this receiving core is not anything special. So do you have to keep 6 receivers? I always think it's safe and it's good to keep 6 receivers, but who truly has set themselves apart to be a part of this 6 receiving spot? I was a big Michael Gallup fan. I thought he was gonna be something. Hasn't done much of anything in the preseason. Luke McCaffrey, he's so uninspiring. Like I'm in a gray area with him because I'm torn. I don't want to give up on him because he is in year 2, but at the same time, he doesn't do anything out there for me to continue to defend him. And yes, there was another point of that. Ja'Cory Brooks, I think he has potential. I would love to, without a doubt, to keep him on the practice squad. I honestly want to see what he does with Jayden Daniels. And we got Jayden out of there after 4 plays, which is understandable. You go down, you score. You know what I'm saying? You're already missing 3 offensive linemen. You don't want him to be out there long. But I think a Ja'Cory Brooks would benefit so well from playing with Jayden Daniels. I truly do. So the jury's still out on him. The jury's still out on Luke McCaffrey for that matter. But like KJ Osborne, does he make this roster now? Like as the 5th receiver? I think we'll see a world where we keep 5 receivers. Maybe 6 to play it safe, but it's so uninspiring out there in terms of the 6 receivers. I also want to talk about Colin Biggers, who continues to kind of struggle. You know, Mitchell Tinsley had 2 touchdowns yesterday. And remember, we had Mitchell Tinsley. Remember, undrafted free agent wide receiver. He was good with us in the preseason. He balled out. And he's no longer here. And he's in Cincinnati. Had 2 touchdowns yesterday. Colin Biggers, he is a guy that I was high on. And a practice squad member potentially. But he's continuing to struggle. Defensively, though, we did see some Jeremy Reeves action. I love what I seen from Jeremy Reeves. He looked really good, playing physical, playing fast, and I can see him getting actual first-team reps on the defensive side of the ball starting to pay off. He's looking different. And speaking of the safety room, Will Hurst, early in the game, down by the red zone, had a PBU. And a lot of people love to compare him to Jeremy Chin. He's not Jeremy Chin. I kept trying to tell people that he's not Jeremy Chin. He actually can cover. He's actually athletic enough to move around the back end, and he has speed along with physicality. He has it, and he showed it yesterday. He looked good. How about Javon Kinlaw, Dorrance Armstrong whipping up on a guard, getting in the backfield, sacking Joe Burrow? right? How about Dietrich Wise? And I don't know if y'all seen it on a TV copy, but Dietrich Wise was out there running step for step with the receiver and to end up tackling them 5-6 yards down the field where a defensive end should not be. A man that big should not be moving like that. Should not be moving like that. And Dietrich Wise did exactly that. Defensively, I did feel like the first team defense had a little bit of some mental errors, right? With Frankie Louvu jumping off sides in the neutral zone. That was a 4th down. And I remember I came on earlier and I said, I don't expect this defense to stop Joe Burrow or anything like that and stop them from moving the ball. But if they did, oh boy, we talking crazy on the post-game show. Because this is one of the best, if not the best offense that they will face all season long. And you got a chance to get Joe Burrow out of here on 4th down. And you gave him a free first down with a neutral zone infraction. I don't even know if they were going to snap the ball. Maybe they were just trying to do exactly what they did. And Frankie Louvu, being undisciplined, jumped off sides. Frankie, I love you. Oos, I love you. You my dog. But you're starting to show some signs. And I can't get mad at him because he's definitely a guy that plays with, loose screws and give it his all. But it's like these crucial moments, man, these penalties, we cannot have them. The Eagles game, the preseason game yesterday, and countless other games last year where we had crucial penalty mistakes in key moments. Noah Igbenogany, right? Pass interference on Jamar Chase. At first, I was like, man, come on, that's BS. But you seen the tug on his jersey. You know what I mean? So outside of that, though, I felt like the defensive line looked really good. I did not like the Chase Brown play where initially he looked like he was short. But then, I guess the last effort he surged forward, I don't get how we allowed that to happen. You had 3-4 bodies right there, Burgundy, go, pull him back. You telling me you let one guy that out-muscle 3 to 4 people? Come on, y'all. Quan Martin continues to impress me. His open field tackling, I think, is up there with Kendall Fuller. I think that's something that a lot of people don't truly understand about Quan's game. Is his open field ability is insane. Was it Drew Sample tight end? You got to understand, these tight ends are huge. Quan's out there with no help. He gets past Quan or run through Quan. That's touchdown. Quan flipped him. Got hyped, got pumped. And Joe Pitt said, I'm holding him to the caliber of he can be the best safety in the NFL. And truth be told, man, if that is the Quan we're going to get, he has that potential to be one of the best safeties in the NFL. I ain't going to quite say best yet because I don't know. But this is the first time that Quan's healthy in a long time. And he looks damn good. I'm just happy that we hit on at least one pick out of that Emmanuel Forbes draft. And it was Quan Martin. Because he looks the part. Him and Will Hurst, they can create some true damage on that back end. And that ultimately completes our secondary. Remember, I had questions about our safety room. I love our cornerback room. From Marshawn to Trey to Mikey to Noah Igbenogany, Jonathan Jones. I felt like our cornerback room was good. And has the opportunity to be really good in this league this year. The safety room was where my questions lied. But Quan Martin, Will Hurst, Jeremy Reeves, Tyler Owens, that sounds like a solid 4 to me. Moving on, though, I definitely wanted to talk about Kane Madrano. As I don't know if you guys are realizing, but this young fella's coming along. Now, again, I expect him to be a special teams guy. But not having Jordan McGee out there gives him an extensive opportunity to show what he can do. And he's coming along well. I like the way he was moving. I like the way he was playing discipline. And just overall figuring it out. He's a name to keep your eye on. You know what I'm saying? Just Kane Madrano for this final preseason game versus the Ravens. He's a name that you want to watch out for. Because I think he's a guy that is going to get an extensive workload. And he's going to get an opportunity to truly shine. Matt Gay was solid today. The kickoffs were iffy. right? And I know some teams have a field goal kicker and a kickoff specialist. I don't know if that's something that we would indulge in or invest in, but I need a kicker at this point to just kick it at the 2-yard line and make them run and bring it out. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to get cute and kick it off the side of your foot. You know what I mean? That ultimately leads to potential going out of bounds, and then the offense is starting near midfield. Just kick it off. Just let them run down and go get them. That's all I need you to do. I would say I would love for you to have a Joey Sly-esque leg and kick it out the back of the end zone every single time, but we know that everybody ain't Joey Sly. That being said, though, let's go ahead and get to the phone calls. 240-804-7327 is the number that you can call in so you can be featured in future episodes. I believe we only have like one caller today, but let's go ahead and open up the phone lines. The Command Extra post-game show. Let's do it.
Yeah, what's up, Juan guy? This your boy, Team B Joint. Hey, man. I like what I saw from them boys today, man. My boy, JD5 came out there, man. He scored on the first 4 plays, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Then after that, you know, the next drive, Bill got out there. But, hey, man, I like what I saw from the offense. Offense going to be potent. I think the run game going to be a strength for us this year, man. For real, for real. I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of disappointed I didn't see Amos, though, man. But it's all good. They're probably just trying to save him for the season or whatever. But I like what I saw from Ja'Cory Crosskey Merritt, man. They're going to send B-Rob packing real soon. You know what I'm saying? The defense, hey, they look good this year. I think the defense is going to be a strength this year, too. You know what I'm saying? That's a good thing to see. Compared to last year, I think our defense is going to be way better. And that's saying something. That's good. We needed that. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, going to be some players from the preseason game tonight, and they ain't going to make the roster. But overall, the defense is going to be solid. The defense is going to be good. Better than last year. Improvement. You know what I'm saying? Sam Hartman looking a little shaky out there. But, man, overall, besides that, man, I think our defense is going to be improved. And as far as the offense goes, the run game going to be improved. Like what I saw, and they actually put in some effort tonight. You know what I'm saying? You know, even though we know the Browns' defense is, the Bengals' defense is whatever it is. Overall, those offense look potent as hell. And that's going to be a strength for us right there. You know what I'm saying? And being that the defense going to be better this year, and we got Jayden at quarterback, and we got everything going on offense. Offense look potent as hell. And the run game going to be a strength. This team going to be even more dangerous than last year, I think, based off that, especially with the way the defense looked. And we ain't even had Trey Amos out there. I think we're going to get a lot of coverage sacks this year, too. That's going to be our strength. And, man, you need to go get Trey Henderson, man. But, yeah, overall, I like what I saw from the game. You be easy, man. Team B Jones from Petersburg, Virginia, baby.
Shout out to my guy holding down for the 757 out there. And you made some great points. I definitely was disappointed that we did not see Trey Amos out there today. I would have loved to see him versus Jamar Chase and not Noah Igbinoghene. I'm not sure why they aren't playing him. Maybe they are just saving him for the regular season in terms of he already has shown enough in camp. And also, we know he had this back injury concern. So maybe they're just trying to keep him 100% healthy. But I would have loved to have him at least play some kind of action in the preseason. You also alluded to the point that this running game has the opportunity to truly be really good this year, and between Austin Eckler and Pill and Jeremy McNichols and obviously Chris Rodriguez, I think we're going to get some really, really good production out of our backs. Now, again, I don't know if it's going to be ultra production, but it definitely is going to be something better than what we did last year, but it's ultimately going to allow Five to be more dynamic with his arm and not have to get everything on the ground and give him some help in terms of running the football. You also talked about how the defensive line is going to get a lot of coverage sacks because the secondary is going to be holding it down. And that's a really good point because I do still think that we lack pass rush. I know we went out and got Von Miller, but Javonte Jean-Baptiste can't seem to stay on the field. Dorrance Armstrong is showing promise. and he looks really good in terms of pass rush. Cleveland Furrow, Jacob Martin, he looked good yesterday as well. So he's a guy that is the anomaly because I think he has all the talent in the world. Duro tap, Ryan Kirk, and just got to get it out of him. He has the bend that you want, the quickness, the athleticism to just get around that corner. He can do it. So maybe he's the guy that can be that Dante Fowler-esque this year. But in terms of coverage sacks, I could definitely see that this year with our secondary being the way that it is. And then we play a lot of quarterbacks that love to pass the ball a lot. I mean, opening up with week 1, I could definitely see Russell Wilson going down at least 3, 4, 5 times, right? Due to the fact that the secondary is holding it down, right? You got week 2, Jordan Love, right? A lot of these quarterbacks are going to be passing and going to have the ball in their hands a lot because a lot of these quarterbacks are, these organizations trust their quarterbacks. So that is also a good point as well. But my guy sent a text message in instead of calling in. His name is Dave. Shout out to Dave. He says, do you think B-Rob is going to get traded? Is B-Rob getting traded? And also, I got a strong feeling that our defense is going to get us into some bad situations as they did last year. Shout out to my guy Dave. But again, make sure you guys call in so you can have your voicemail read on air. Obviously the defense, they had some penalties yesterday that kind of raised some concern, and obviously Joe Burrow was moving the ball. But honestly, outside of our self-inflicted wounds, they truly didn't do anything. Like, you take away that, and I know you can't do this, but you take away that Frankie Louvu jump off sides on 4th down, it's probably going to be a delayed game, or we're just going to have to try to find a way to stop them. But I'd rather them hike the ball and actually try to stop them, or them move the chains and just give them a free 1st down. And then a Noah Igbenogany pass interference call, that's a flag. That's self-inflicted wounds. So the defense, it wasn't 100% the best yesterday, but it definitely wasn't. It was far from trash, especially down in the red zone. I like how we were able to hold them. Obviously, you don't like how they were able to allow Chase Brown to just walk in, but you eventually got them to those 3rd and 4th downs where they had to convert. And I think defensively we'll be fine. I think we'll be much better and light years ahead of where we were last season. But ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up today's episode. Washington Commanders second preseason game is in the book versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Very electrifying day. Don't forget to call into the Command Extra post-game show following each and every game. I want to see more than one caller as the season go on. 240-804-7327 to be featured in the next post-game show following the Washington Commanders versus Ravens game. As always, me and boy Juan Gotti. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Catch y'all later. Peace.
Ballin' like I'm Deshaun, throw the bomb, G. That's IG, my jersey never seen a line.